Hey guys, welcome back to Orwell Ignorance's Strength. My name is Sowak and I will be your Orwell agent for the next half hour or so. Let's continue where we left off. We were reviewing the party and sort of its policies and whatnot. When I play these sort of story games, I like to get immersed in the world and sort of go in depth and read about what's going on and get familiar with the lore, and the party is definitely a big part of it. It'll also help with our investigation as well, see why Raban Vhart hates them so much. So let's review the leaders of the nation. Robert Blaine, Prime Minister. His name's come up quite frequently in the People's Voice blog as someone who is not very favoured by Mr. Raban Vhart. Once I read through all this, we'll revisit the contradiction that we found on that blab profile, and we'll make a decision. But for now, Prime Minister Blaine, as much remarkable visionary as unmatched leader, is a member of the party in the fourth generation. When the surprising death of the previous leader of the party, Mrs. Goddard, left behind a power vacuum, it was the young Robert Blaine who stepped up and was elected as the new head unanimously. Just as in this exemplary case, Mr. Blaine will take initiative whenever possible and is sure not to relent until the party's ambitious goals have been achieved. Too bad those goals are shrouded in secrecy and no one actually knows what the goals are, but I have a feeling Orwell is one of them, and it has been achieved. Arthur Scott Gallagher, Secretary of Economy and Trade. Mr. Gallagher, one of the most seasoned members of the party, is in charge of the Ministry of Economy and Trade. As such, he is directly responsible for reduced tax levels for big and medium-sized corporations, as well as the resulting decline of the unemployment rate. And no mention of the poorer citizens or just citizens in general. It's all corporations here in the nation. The party definitely seems like a right-wing one, with all these conservative ideals and all these corporate talk. We've got Catherine Delacroix, evil woman. She is responsible for spearheading the Orwell program. She's the Secretary of Security. The Ministry of Security, dedicated to the purpose of improving the nation's safety on the interior, was formed directly after the elections in 2009, just as originally proposed by Catherine Delacroix. Mrs. Delacroix was subsequently granted the position of the first Secretary of Security. She is best known for the inception of the Safety Bill, elevating security standards in the country to a new level. And we've got Peter Faulkner, Secretary of Defense. The Commander-in-Chief of the nation's forces does not tire to stress the importance of stability in the nation's neighbouring countries. To that end, Mr. Faulkner created the Parges peacekeeping mission, which played a key role in prevention of terrorist activity occurring on the nation's soil. Unfortunately for Mr. Faulkner, this peacekeeping mission I don't think is living up to its name. Raban Vhart trying to incite some riots and whatnot. We'll see just how successful that is. What else have we got? We got positions. Our 5 pillars for a great nation. It's like those values that your corporations will have, teaching their employees, this is our mission statement, these are our values, this is what we're all about in this company, we're a family. Safety and security. We firmly believe in strict safety regulations and mechanisms to preserve the life and well-being of every individual. Economy and commerce. A strong economy equals a strong society. This is why we strive for constant healthy growth. Values and tradition. Our cultural origins as well as the significance of family and communal life must be cherished. Migration and foreign affairs. Gating immigration from and intervening in foreign countries is a necessity to uphold law and order in our own. I don't know if I agree with that. It's like visiting your neighbor's place and telling them how to live so your own family can live a better lifestyle. But okay. Education and health. Rock-solid education and healthcare systems are the foundations of a great future. Pretty safe ideals, except for this migration and foreign affairs one, of course, getting involved. The party fancies itself world police here. We can participate, become a part of the party. There are many ways in which you can contribute to the nation's success. Becoming involved with the party is a huge one. If you are willing to give your all for a brighter future of the nation and consequently all of the world, come and join us. Definitely got an inflated ego there. Find out how. Donate. The party is always grateful for donations of any amount. Your gift will directly help the party to continue its course to build a stable, safe, and positively conservative nation. Yep, so they are conservative. They are right-wing. Volunteer. Support a local group of volunteers to get in touch with the nation's leaders and champion the topics that matter the most to you and your family. Become a member. Being a member of the party is a life-altering calling, as you will represent the party in political matters on a communal or national level. Get in touch and apply to us. Man, it's sounding more and more like a cult. Join the army of the nation. Yup. The party is a big promoter of direct service to the homeland. If you think you have it in you to defend the freedom of the nation in foreign countries and help stabilize them, get enlisted now. Yep. Sure, I am already volunteered to go through the Orwell program and figure out what's going on. We got projects which we looked at previously, and we've seen people. I wonder what the opposing party would be. The left, so to speak, party for the government, I suppose it would be the Buzzkill party, or the Party Poopers or something. Who knows? I am not responsible for their marketing. Anyway, I am just procrastinating now because I still have no idea what I want to decide, whether Raban Vhart is unhappy about Oleg McKay's disappearance or whether he is quite pleased with himself. I'm leaning towards that he certainly will not be missed, just going off the transcript of the phone call that we reviewed earlier. I mean, we see here Vhart, how after all this time I didn't think, must be disappointed, Raban wasn't me, I don't know what happened, truth, Raban goes in a huge spiel about truth, stop nonsense, get to the point, asks him what his truth is, truth is dead as you soon will be. That is definitely nothing friendly. If you're trying to warn someone that they're about to die, you wouldn't say, truth is dead as you soon will be. You'd be like, yo dude, hit the decks, get underground right now, someone's coming to kill you. Instead, he seems a bit indifferent, so, you know, it doesn't help his case saying that he's not happy, he's gone missing. So we do have to make a decision. I'm just going to go for this one. Satisfied with Oleg McKay having disappeared. Obviously it's hard to tell without the context. This cannot be undone. Here we go. It's uploading. Ampleford. Of course he had to brag about McKay's disappearance after the threat. Still, that doesn't answer whether Vhart is responsible for what happened. Exactly, that's good. At least she has common sense. She's not taking it literally. Oh, we got some updates. What do we got? Discussion. What have you done, Raban? People's Voice admin panel. Well, we've got some DMing going on, I guess. Discussion, what have you done, Raban? Shannon Carrillo, contributor, April 11, so a couple of days ago now, at 10:22 p.m. It sounds like they're accusing us of having kidnapped or killed this man. What have you done to Oleg McKay, Raban? Tell us the truth. I'm guessing that's a link to the National Beholder, but who knows, it might be malware. Let's not click on it. We don't click on unknown links. Illya Vhart, lead editor, we have already suspected that to be Raban Vhart's brother or something. Let's not jump to conclusions. I'm sure that Raban can offer an explanation. Shannon Carrillo, I'm starting to doubt whether TPV represents what I stand for. We sell ourselves as a blog for the Pargesian people, defending their rights and protecting their freedom. As part of that, it's our duty to criticize the Pargesian government, and the military is a prime target. However, I never signed up to be labeled as a criminal. We don't threaten people, we don't kidnap people, and we certainly don't kill people. And here comes Raban Vhart, owner. Calm down, Shannon. Since when do you believe what the National Beholder prints? They're only trying to frame us. I have nothing to do with McKay's disappearance. Did I call him? Sure. Did I get a little, how you say, aggressive? I did. You see, McKay and I, we have a history. Before we left Parges, McKay had his mind set on joining the Pargesian army. He asked me to take care of his 14-year-old daughter, and I said yes. Oh, this might be important for his password. But soon after, instead of returning to his daughter, I learned he had left for the nation. He said he wanted to find work there. Then, all of a sudden, he returns and ranks up to an officer in the army. I'm fairly certain he works for the nation's government in some way. However, I have nothing to do with his disappearance, and would never kidnap or kill a man. Do not believe the lies of the National Beholder. Sorry, that's a terrible accent. I'm just trying to mimic what I heard in the cutscene. Shannon Carrillo, I was unaware of all this. I believe you, but I really think you should watch what you say, Raban. This is starting to get way too tense. This is getting people worked up in both countries. Daniel Buchanan has to give his 2 cents after a long discussion there. I'm with Shannon on this. I also believe you, Raban, but you should really choose your words more wisely. We always wanted to criticize. One could even say fight against the Cassart administration and their shady ties to Blaine, but we don't want them to regard us as national enemies, and this fight should remain one of words. Raban, you guys are disappointing me. I thought you had it in you. Do not let them intimidate you like that. These are just empty threats. We have to stand our ground, now more than ever. We're not saying we disagree with you, Raban. We're just saying watch what you say. Okay, there was a couple of data chunks up here that we went past. I have nothing to do with McKay's disappearance. Did I call him? Sure. Did I get a little aggressive? I did. Well, he admitted to having called and threatened Oleg McKay. I mean, at this point you kind of have to. We got him red-handed. We got the smoking gun in the transcript. So that's fine. He denies being involved in Oleg McKay's disappearance, of course. We can't take that as 100% fact. We're all human, including Mr. Raban Vhart. I hope he is human. So that means we are all capable of lying. So let's leave that for now. Before we left Parges, McKay had his mind set on joining the Pargesian army. He asked me to take care of his 14-year-old daughter, and I said yes. I think that's important to know that he has a daughter, and he formerly lived in Prava, Parges. This will probably help hook us up with her name, which might lead to cracking his password, since he has a tendency to use people he knows as his password for whatever reason. Terrible for a double agent. Let's chuck this in here. Make sure we upload it to the right profile, of course. One related document found. Awesome. Ah, I see. The two know each other from where they lived in Parges. Well done, Agent. With the basic connection between the two clarified, our in-depth research of the lead-up to this phone call can now begin. I need you to investigate and upload anything that you think is relevant and accurate about the background of these two. Discard anything else. From what you gather, I will put together a theory about what happened and what we're going to do about it. At the very least, we need a solid motive for Raban Vhart making this threat to Oleg McKay, and an explanation as to how Vhart could contact him on his protected phone. If you need to keep track of your objectives, click on the Orwell eye in the upper left corner of the screen, or press escape. Alright, so now we need to start being a little bit more careful with what information we pass along. She's going to be making a theory, Ampleford is, and it's going to be based on the facts we give her. So let's tread carefully here. Now things start to get interesting and a little bit dicey for us. Let's review our objectives, find a motive for Raban Vhart's threat against Oleg McKay, find a way how Raban Vhart was able to contact Oleg, find the whereabouts of Oleg, and find the key to Oleg's phone and unlock it. We do not want to quit just yet. We're just getting started. He admits, and we got a contradiction here, of course. Sorry, I've completely gleaned over it. I learned he had left for the nation. He said he wanted to find work there. We do not have the conflicting information. It's an unknown data chunk. So we're going to need to see if we can find it. We got another thread here from Prava City. Thread, what are you planning on doing against the FTP? Oh, is this the government side, is it? I don't quite know. Started by Yelena Lavrova on February 21, 2006. 11 years ago. My family and I are thinking about leaving Prava. We've been living in this beautiful town for generations and do not want to leave. But since the FTP started the civil war, we do not feel safe here anymore. What are you planning on doing against them? Mayor Grabovac. Dear Mrs. Lavrova, the administration of Prava is currently in contact with officials of the Pargesian army in order to get some troops to protect the town from the FTP. There is not much else we can do at this current time, so we ask you to stay in a safe place and remain as calm as possible given the circumstances. Tomas Chernin. This is a joke, right? Keep calm. People are dying out there. Mrs. Toscola. My greatest concern is the well-being of my children. They both attend Prava Secondary, but I would rather make them stay at home during times like these, especially since I already lost my husband, who died serving in the Pargesian army. But teachers at Prava Secondary have strongly urging me to let them go to school. How do you plan on protecting our schools, Mayor Grabovac? Or is it Grabovac? This is our most important issue right now. Raban Vhart. There he goes. In his younger years, his hair is a little bit shorter. I sincerely understood your concerns, Mrs. Toscola. As the school's principal, I will therefore consider our options on how to protect the schools and Prava Secondary in particular. He's a former principal. Interesting. Oh, and there we go. There's our conflicting information, I'm guessing. Tomas Chernin, I don't believe you. Everyone here keeps talking about how we're supposed to change things in Prava, but nobody ever takes action. We're going to leave Prava and Parges. Goodbye, folks. It has been really mediocre to know you. Cheeky. Here's Oleg McKay. Leave Parges. And that is how you abandon not only your hometown, but your own home country. And go where? The nation? This pitiful stretch of land? Never. Believe me, you would be better off dying as a loyal citizen of Parges than as an inferior renegade. In fact, I have devised my own way how to protect Prava and show them I am a true Pargesian patriot. I am going to volunteer for the Pargesian army and fight to free this country from the plague known as FTP. Raban Vhart. Seriously, Oleg, you have a daughter. She's only 11 years old and she needs you. Please don't make any hasty decisions right now. Besides, if I may dare to say so, I do think the FTP is fighting for the right causes, maybe with the wrong methods. After all, I don't believe Kassart will be doing us any good, considering how he rose to power. And mind you, Kassart's ties to the nation are more than fishy. Oleg McKay, mind you, Raban, please don't tell me you are a terrorist sympathizer now. As for my daughter Radka, done. Got it. Potential password unlocked. You have been one of her biggest role models for years now. You know her well and she loves your classes. May I boldly ask you to take care of her while I'm gone? Raban, I'm not a terrorist sympathizer, Oleg, and I certainly am not on their side. All I am saying is that you should try thinking a bit more critically towards this government of ours. Regarding Radka, I do not approve of you leaving her like that, and I am also not a Pargesian army sympathizer, by the way. But if you truly wish to choose this path and join the army, I will not let you and her down. Oleg, thank you. I really appreciate this. We do have our own disagreements sometimes, but you're a good person and a good teacher, Raban. Alright, so this is the conflicting information. He doesn't think highly of the nation and never wants to go there. And we've got the conflict. He said he wanted to find work there. Really. 14-year-old daughter, and he said yes, but back then she was 11. So this is more up to date here. Because when we learn... Sorry. Oh, this is a new thing. Let's come back to that. So if we go back to the thread, we learned that she's only 11 years old. This is 2006, obviously. We don't know when the other thing was posted, but now we know it's 3 years later because she's only 11 here. He obviously could have changed his mind between now and then, and that's more up to date. So I'm going to have to go with this. He left for the nation. He said he wanted to find work there. So here we go. Let's plop that on. Here we go. Probably should review other information before deciding on this conflicting information. Good. That might account for his loyalty towards us. Okay, cool. We had some other info here. He's a school principal. Let's leave that for now. It's not mission critical to know that he was a principal. He sympathizes with forces of true Parges. How much can we rely on this? It's 11 years ago. People's minds change constantly. We can't really give Ampleford outdated information. If we get sort of confirmation that he still holds those beliefs, then I think I'll be happy to pass that along. But for now, let's go to Blabber again. Here we go. So there's been some responses. People's Voice, tell us the truth about what happened to Oleg McKay. #save McKay. Raban Vhart is being attacked about him allegedly threatening Oleg McKay. It's a bit irresponsible of the media to be printing this, to be honest. What the hell? So you started threatening Pargesian shoulders? Pargesian soldiers now. This is just going too far. He's being attacked about him allegedly threatening Oleg McKay. Oh, it's the same thing. Okay, so people are not very happy with him. That's to be expected. Anything else we got? Nothing? Let's pop into his phone here. So we do have, I didn't actually go into this, but we do have his profile and certain things relating to it. We got Red McKay there. So we can see his personality, his habit of using names of people close to him as passwords. Background. There we go, that's where we're going to input the password. He's got activities. Sort of what his whereabouts have been, what he's been up to lately. In this case, he's threatened with death and spoke to Raban Vhart. His aliases, accounts, in terms of his mobile phone, and contacts. So let's see if we can get into his phone here. Here we go. Radka. Oh, it's not even case sensitive, hopefully. Orwell reports you've removed the encryption from McKay's device. Open sesame. Good work, Agent. That aided us greatly. Alright, let's find out a little bit more about our mystery missing man. Call history. Raban Vhart. Cool. Excellent. That's great news. We've got Raban's mobile phone number. And we got Melissa O'Brien, which is exactly what he referenced when he first picked up the phone at the beginning of the transcript. Perfect. With this number we can track Raban Vhart's calls to and from his mobile phone within the listener tool. Unknown person calling Raban Vhart. Do you want to tune in now? Hell yeah. Let's go. It's a woman.
Karen, my love.
Hey.
Having a good day?
Yeah. So far so good. I called to tell you I'll be home late today. I'm sorry.
Again? They don't pay you enough for all the time you give them.
It's not about payment, and you know that. These people rely on me. They need me.
Yeah? Well, I need my wife at home with me some of the time. Am I asking for too much?
Raban, not so long ago you were among them. You have been in their position.
Yes, I know that. So was Illya, so were the others. Yet none of us were national soldiers responsible for invading and ravaging countries. If it weren't for them driving refugees out in the first place, why, we wouldn't need these camps.
This, again? We talked about this multiple times.
I'm well aware that this extra time you spend there is for her, isn't it?
Raban, she is... I'm worried, that's all. She's more reclusive now than ever. Something isn't right.
One more reason to avoid her.
You want me to cherry-pick who deserves my assistance and who doesn't? All people get the same treatment, the same attention. That's my mandate. I thought you loved that about me.
I do. You're right. Of course you are. You always are. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So, are you good with me getting home late tonight then?
I am.
Thank you.
I will be waiting for you.
No, don't wait. It might get late.
Well, I can hardly go anywhere else.
You shouldn't say things like that. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.
See you.
Alright, awesome. That's a new feature. We actually got voices for the phone calls with these far superior voice actors. I kind of just realized now that I've completely botched Raban Vhart's accent, but let's keep it a running gag and just keep him Russian, or whatever accent I was pulling off, I don't even quite know. So he's talking to unknown person, also known as Karen, his love, his wife, married to Karen Vhart. It'd probably be cool to actually get that sort of information. Let's throw that on there. Well, my voice is sore already from all that reading. Makes me wonder how it must feel to be married to this guy. Thankfully she doesn't have a voice. I can make up whatever voice I like. Okay, what else have we got? National soldiers responsible for invading and ravaging countries. Believes the army of the nation invaded and ravaged Parges. Okay. Is that it? I thought there was more. Okay, let's leave that for now. Awesome, we got a little bit more information, and we got another email, revised article. Hey Raban, I finished revising the article you sent me and scheduled it for 3 PM like you asked. Don't know if I'll be available for another one. I'm going to be a bit occupied tonight. Maybe I can spare some time remotely if I get a chance. One more thing, this McKay thing is getting ugly. Lots of TMB believers are flooding us with threats on Blabber. Did you read any of that? Creeping me out. You know, I'd go to any length with you, just like when we moved to the nation. You're my brother. Nothing can change that. It's even fine if you're not telling me the whole truth. What about Karen? They even insult her. She doesn't deserve to be treated that way. Don't you think it's about time you gave out a statement? You can easily debunk these lies. Illya Vhart. That is the person, right, on the blog? Can't quite remember the first name. Where is it? No. Oh yeah, there we go. Yep, it's definitely his brother. Awesome. We need to get that. We need to get all these relations. I need points of contact for all of them. So where was I? Listener. Here we go. Raban Vhart. Oh, we got more information. We're just getting piled up. TB 2 dead after second explosion. Yep, this is taking place simultaneously with the first game. That's awesome. I like it. Not the explosion, but the fact that we are working at the same time. Awesome. Explosive charge set off at Steligan University in Bonton. At least 2 people dead, 3 injured. This is irrelevant to our current case. This is just a reference to the Bonton bombings, which our other investigator is getting involved with, Sowak Senior. Okay, we got a bunch of new things here. I'm guessing that's what the stars are for. People's voice arrival. Let's sift through all the information, and then we'll start cherry-picking what we want to drag into the profiles. Arrival, February 18, 2011. Raban Vhart wrote this. What we encountered in the safe country of the nation was not what we had expected. We finally made it, the glorious nation, where we were hoping to be able to live a normal life, away from the fear and danger that our home country is now plagued with. Unfortunately, we found upon arrival in the nation does not seem to be a lot better. We were assigned to the Outer Bonton reception camp as a temporary solution. They do not seem to know what to do with us, and the camp is incredibly crowded. The most hilarious thing about this is that the media of the nation is telling its citizens a completely different story. They write about how openly we are welcomed, how we finally have a safe haven with free food, accommodation and friendly people. Reality is the complete opposite. Don't get me wrong, I am more than thankful for being able to escape the terrible threat of war in our country, but the situation in this camp is simply dehumanizing. We are being denied basic human rights. Food and bathrooms are rare, and fights over both are common. The only ray of hope is our social worker, Karen. There we go. Who seems to be the only one around here who really cares. She does everything possible to help us, and seeing her once a week is one of the few things keeping me going right now. Despite the hardships, we've sworn not to give up. We owe it to our people to make the situation here public, and also tell the people of the nation what is really going on in these safe havens for refugees. I've decided to use this blog to publish facts, and facts only, about the war in Parges. So Karen's a social worker. Let's grab that. We need to know a little bit more about it. We can't just have a name. Raban Vhart, married as assigned social worker. Do you find this as odd as I do? No. This happens quite commonly. He was assigned to a refugee camp. We know he's a refugee now. I know I said I would wait and see all the information before dragging them, but I feel like that's kind of important to know who he is. Oh, cool. This led us to the immigration database. I don't think we need another face for him. I mean, this is pretty up to date, surely. And it's just going to cost us time. Social security number? Is that something we need to know? I don't know. Date of birth? Maybe? Oh, UIDs of personal devices? It's PC? We can get involved with that. Excellent. With that, we will be able to get a glimpse directly into the lion's den, and probably useful data on our targets. Insider. Oh, we should also check Oleg's phone. Oh my god, there's so much information! Information overload. Let's go through the rest of Oleg's phone before we move on to the desktop. Secured message? You. Warning. I fear that my cover might have blown. I suspect Raban Vhart to be behind it. Try to warn the office about him supposedly having been revealed by Raban Vhart. I'm proceeding now according to the protocol for a situation like this, moving to secret location in order to conceal my whereabouts. That definitely fits in with our objective of finding his whereabouts. Oops, wrong profile. Sorry. Let's get that involved. The higher-ups will know more about that than I would. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Hiding? You mean voluntarily? There was no plan which included going into hiding anywhere. Interesting. So what, he was never supposed to surrender? There's no plan B? It's kind of terrible planning. We need a BCP, business continuity plan, or in this case a secret agent continuity plan. Cool. Random selfie. Images of a broken bookshelf. That's all we've got. Okay. I trace. Displaying location of the last 24 hours. Apparently that's his current location. That's definitely important. Something we should check. It's probably just his phone though, but that could help us. Prava. Oleg McKay is in his former hometown? Peculiar. Why is he hiding out there? Or rather, from whom? Raban Vhart? Excellent work. We'll retrieve Oleg McKay once we have a clear picture as to why he's gone missing in the first place, and what that call meant. Good. We can send someone to pick him up. Awesome, that's solved the two objectives so far, unlocking his phone and finding his whereabouts. Now we just need to deal with Raban Vhart here. What's his motive for the threat, and how he was able to contact him? Nothing in the contacts list, unfortunately. None of those names mean anything, except I remember that guy from his selfie. Let's go to Raban's desktop. The people's voice speaking out loud what needs to be said. Freedom Plaza to do. Ooh. Okay, that's just a picture for his blog that I remember seeing. Sys. Browser history. Okay, I'll come back to that in a second. Trash. Took my appreciation for your blog. Ooh. David Johns. From unknown sender. Received 9:03 AM 3 days ago. Took in my appreciation. Raban, I found something you might be very interested in. This was in his browser history. I've done some digging through the document, and there was even a phone number of a device they issued to this guy, Oleg McKay. Blah 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 blah. No need to thank me. This proves what you've been writing about for such a long time. Make everyone see it now. Okay, let's check out the website. What do we got? Percoleaks, sorry. Knowledge is power. We give the power back to the people. Operation Flying Dog description. Operation Flying Dog is a document about how the Pargesian soldier... I keep getting that screwed up. The Pargesian soldier, Oleg McKay, was arrested by soldiers of the nation after an incident during the Civil War, only to be released again later and placed as a spy within the Pargesian army. The documents show how the administration of the national government pulls strings inside the Pargesian army in order to enforce their power in Parges. He's been uncovered. So his cover was blown. Damn it! I knew he must have been revealed. This changes everything. If McKay's secret's out there, then that's how Vhart came across the info. But this alone doesn't appear to be enough of a motive. Of course not. Agent, I hate to say it, but with this new perspective on the situation, we have to put McKay's loyalty into question. If you find any hints about possible disloyalty of our agent towards us, you need to let me know immediately. Alright. I will try my best. What's this website about? PercoLeaks is a database of classified media which we receive from anonymous sources. We believe that the people have a right to know certain things, and through this platform we provide this knowledge, which would otherwise be censored or kept entirely from the public. So far, we have never published false information, and the documents we provide are always closely examined and analyzed prior to publishing. Our most prominent leak so far was footage of torture and murder during the Pargesian War committed by soldiers of the nation, clearly showing multiple violations of basic human rights and corruption. Our goal is to provide the public and journalists with information that needs to be published and is vital for the people to know, especially at times when their leaders lean toward corruption and secret power through tools such as online surveillance. At least they don't know anything about Orwell just yet. We can upload documents. Oh, really? Oh my god. Note, we only accept uploads of documents about official operations sanctioned by the nation. All other uploads will be rejected. Gee, that's scary. It's just day one. It's my first day on the job and I'm already, like, violating protocol. Yeah, no, I'm not keen on betraying my country just yet. Maybe a bit later on. What else? Let's read one more sort of article. So we read Arrival. Let's read A Journey. We said goodbye to our dear home. See you on the other side. It's been about a week since I started my journey from my hometown Brava to the borders of the nation. Together with my brother Illya, who's the only family I have left, I decided to seek a new life elsewhere. We have lost everything. Our workplaces, our homes, and many of our friends. I even lost my ability to walk. Really? The situation in Parges is horrible. I do not and will never understand how people can treat each other like this. This is our home country. We never wanted to leave. But now we have been expelled, and could not be more heartbroken to witness what is happening in the country we spent our childhood, learned, lived, and loved. Will life really be better in the nation? We do not know. Especially since the most important national news outlet recently published articles suggesting Pargesian refugees to be likely terrorists. All we can currently do is hope that these prejudices are not what the people of the nation stand for. We will soon find out. Excellent. Excellent. We're learning a lot. We are learning a lot. I do need to prove, or disprove, Oleg McKay's loyalty, which I'll probably do next time I come back. I think that's plenty for now. This has been SoWack. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Orwell. And if you need anything from me, please feel free to drop a comment. And if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like. And if you want to see more, click on subscribe. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys. Goodbye.